Hello there, my name is Oliveira. I am a Brazilian attorney, also licensed in California and Texas. And today we're going to be discussing if it is possible for you to hire an attorney for litigation in Brazil and pay only based on results, meaning that if you don't win, you don't pay. Let's get right into it. And here you go, the answer is probably not, okay? And in Brazil, this type of arrangement is not only extremely rare, but is also forbidden by most of the Brazilian bar associations. The Brazilian bar associations, they operate actually under state chapters, so they are not like in the United States. In the United States, each state has a somewhat independent bar association. In Brazil, we just have the Brazilian Bar Association, but interesting enough, they operate on a state basis. And the two main reasons for such arrangement not existing in Brazil are probably because cases in Brazil are going to take substantially longer than they would in the United States, for instance. So it's very difficult for an attorney or a law firm to wait for several years until they receive some money. Another concern is that cases in Brazil, they are not as clear when it comes to the potential outcome as they are in other jurisdictions. We have the civil law, and in civil law, you have more discretion in terms of how the judge will decide a case. So for the attorney, it's very difficult for the attorney to say, all right, I understand this case is going to win, and therefore I'm not going to even bother about charging an initial retainer. I'm going to work on a contingency base only. Now remember that about the costs of a lawsuit are always going to be paid by the client themselves. I know that in the United States, there is a very common arrangement, particularly for personal injury, in which the law firm is going to even pay for the costs. But this arrangement, again, it doesn't exist in Brazil, and it's actually forbidden by the Brazilian Bar Association. And for the reasons we told you before, they are going to be always charged from the client. Another point of concern for a client with a cause in Brazil is that the so-called losing parties attorney fees may be substantial. It is common in Brazil for such fees to go up to 20% of the value of the cause. So as you may imagine, any attorney in Brazil is not going to be willing to assume such high risk. This is always going to be on the clients and never on the attorney himself. There are other hard cost fees, particularly when it comes to a foreign party, because you may need to get apostilles abroad, you may need to pay for the so-called sworn translation in Brazil, and there is also a potential security deposit that a judge may ask from the foreign party when it comes to filing a lawsuit in Brazil, and that can go up to 20% of the value of the cause. Now let's talk about the different types of cases, because this may also impact on how is going to be your fee arrangement with your attorney. For probate cases, it is possible for you to have like a contingency-based type of payment, meaning that your attorney is going to get a percentage of the assets that the attorney is going to recover on your behalf through the probate. But again, it's absolutely customary that the attorney is also charge you a fee at the beginning of the case to assist with the setup and all the work that the attorney is going to need to spend on the case until this case actually arrives at the point of distributing the assets. There are other types of cases, such as criminal law cases, in which there is no such arrangement. Naturally, just like in the United States, you're going to need to pay a flat per hour fee, or if not a flat per hour fee, you would need to pay an agreed amount or a flat fee for the overall work to be done to the attorney that you're hiring. Family law cases are going to vary. For instance, if you have a divorce in which assets are being disputed, it may be possible for you to charge a percentage of the assets that you're going to recover through the divorce procedure. But if you're not dealing exactly with the assets, if you're just handling like a family law type of thing, custody and support, for instance, those cases are customarily paid on either an hourly basis, or you're going to pay a flat fee for the scope of work to be done. Now, talking again about the bar associations in Brazil, believe it or not, they're going to have a full list of the minimum amounts that attorneys should be charging for service provided to a client. So it's not uncommon for us to see like 20 or even 30 pages with all types of legal procedures, and that are going to have like a minimum amount that the attorney cannot sell their services for less those reference amounts. So very important, again, that a client has a realistic expectation when it comes to the cost of legal services in Brazil. Brazil has a large number of attorneys, and therefore there is a somewhat interesting dispute or competition among attorneys, and the purpose of the Bar Association to publish such lists is to avoid a type of destructive competition among attorneys. So what would be the best fee approach? Like if you are in the market to hire an attorney, what should you be looking for? In our opinion, the best arrangement, and of course for those types of cases that will allow such arrangement, is going to be a specific fee at the beginning of the case. And if it is a case that's going to take, several years, such as a probate, also a smaller amount per year to fund the work that the attorney is going to be doing over the years. And then a large component based on the success of the work being provided by the attorney. So such combination is going to allow for you to secure a quality attorney. And in addition to securing a quality attorney, you're going to be assuring the maximum motivation for this attorney or law firm to go out there and get the results that you are expecting. I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to follow us for more tips, and don't forget to download our ebook, The 7 Things You Must Know When Handling Disputes in Brazil. See you in our next video.